Greetings, fellow DC fans. Well, DCEU Summer 2023 now continues on as we take a look at The Flash. After helping Bruce Wayne slash Batman and Diana Prince slash Wonder Woman stop a robbery in Gotham City, Barry Allen revisits his childhood home, where he lived with his parents Nora and Henry before Henry's wrongful imprisonment for Nora's murder. On the day of her death, Nora sent Henry to the grocery store for a can of tomatoes that she forgot to buy, leaving her alone in the kitchen, resulting in her being killed by an unidentified assailant. Overcome by emotions, Barry accidentally used the Speed Force to form a chrono ball and traveled back in time earlier in the day. Despite Bruce's warnings of time travel's unintended consequences, Barry time travels and places the can of tomatoes in Nora's car at the store so his father will not have to leave the house. As he returns to the present, Barry is knocked out of the chrono ball by an unknown speedster and ends up in 2013 where Nora is alive. He encounters his parents, his past self, and realizes this is the day he originally obtained his powers. In order to make sure that his past self gains superpowers, the two Barrys go to the Central City Police Department, where Barry reenacts the event for 2013 Barry to be struck by lightning. Both end up getting struck by the lightning, giving 2013 Barry powers, but causing Barry to lose his own. As Barry struggles to train 2013 Barry on properly using his powers, they learn that General Zod is preparing to invade Earth. In an effort to fight Zod, the Barrys attempt to assemble the Justice League but are unsuccessful. In their timeline, Diana is unable to be located, Victor Stone has not gained his abilities yet, and Arthur Curry never exists. They travel to Wayne Manor, hoping to find Bruce, but instead find an alternate variant who is long retired. Bruce theorizes that using time travel alter history affects events both prior to and after the alteration. They convince Bruce to return as Batman and help them find Kal-El slash Superman. The Barrys and Batman locate a Kryptonian pod discovered in Siberia. Upon arrival, they set find Kal-El's cousin, Kara Zor-El, imprisoned in the facility. They rescue Kara and return to Wayne Mansion. Barry enlists Bruce's help to regain his power once more. The first two attempts fail, prompting Kara to fly Barry into a storm. He regains his powers. Kara and Batman join the Barrys to fight Zod and his forces. During the battle, Kara learns that Zod had intercepted Kal-El's escape pod and killed in the process of extracting the codex needed to repopulate the Kryptonian species. The codex is actually within Kara. Zod subdues and kills her, then extracts the codex from her blood. Meanwhile, Batman sacrifices himself in an unsuccessful attempt to destroy Zod's ship. The Barrys repeatedly time travel to save Batman and Kara but keep failing. Barry realizes that this sequence of events cannot be changed, but 2013 Barry keeps trying. As 2013 Barry travels, the multiverse starts to implode. The unknown speedster who initially knocked Barry out of the Speed Force returns and is revealed to be an older, future version 2013 Barry who still believes he can defeat Zod and save his Earth. He becomes angry when Barry reveals his intention to reverse the changes he made to the timeline by letting Nora die. The elder 2013 Barry attempts to kill Barry, but Satan impels young 2013 Barry, who sacrifices himself to save Barry and wipe his future self from the timeline. Barry reverts his timeline and comes to terms with his mother's death. However, he slightly alters the past by moving the tomato cans to a higher shelf. Returning to the present day, Barry attends Henry's court hearing, where the security footage now reveals Henry looking up to grab the tomato can, allowing for his exoneration. After returning to the present, Barry is contacted by Bruce, whose appearance has changed once again as a result of the timeline alteration. Dun dun dun. Alright. So let's look at the production of this movie, begin with the developments and early attempts. Development of a film based on the DC character The Flash began in the late 1980s when Warner Bros. Pictures hired comic book writer Jeff Loeb to write a screenplay. Warner Bros. Hired David S. Goyer to write, direct, and produce a new version of The Flash in December 2004 after he impressed them with the script for Batman Begins. Goyer approached Ryan Reynolds to portray Wally West slash The Flash after working with him on the Marvel Comics-based film Blade Trinity, and intended to have the character Barry Allen appear in a supporting role. Goyer was influenced for the film's tone by Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy and Flash comic book runs by Mark Baron, Mark Waid, and Geoff Johns. By early February 2007, Goyer left the project over creative differences with the studio, and Sean Levy was hired to direct and oversee the writing of a new draft written by Chris Brancato, which used elements from Goyer's script. Later that month, Warner Bros. Announced the development of a Justice League film, with Michelle and Kieran Mulroney writing the screenplay. George Miller sat down to direct the film, titled Justice League Immortal, in September, with Adam Brody cast as the Flash. It was envisioned as the start of a franchise with planned sequels and spin-offs, including the Flash film. Levy left The Flash in October 2007 because of scheduling conflicts with Night of the Museum Battle of the Smithsonian. David Dobkin took over as director and began developing the film as a spin-off from Justice League Immortal, with a focus on Wally West. Craig Wright was writing a script for the film the next month, before Justice League Immortal was cancelled and Warner Bros. Said 2008 release for The Flash. Further development was delayed by the 2007-2008 Writers Guild of America strike. Charles Roven joined the project as a producer by July 2009, with Geoff Johns consulting and writing a film treatment that Dan Mazout adapted into a screenplay. In October, Roven said the studio was not confident enough in their take to greenlight the film, though Mazout disputed this and said the film was moving forward as planned. In June 2010, Green Lantern writers Greg Berlanti, Michael Green, and Mark Guggenheim were hired to write a new treatment for The Flash based on a recent comics run by Johns that featured Barry Allen. And now we're on to the DC Extended Universe. Warner Bros. Was planning a new shared universe of films based on DC by July 2013 and attempted plans to release the Flash film in 2016. By October 2014, Warner Bros. And DC Films announced a slate of planned projects as part of the new DC Extended Universe. The Flash was set for release on March 23, 2018, where Ezra Miller set to star in the film as Barry Allen / The Flash. Miller first made a cameo appearance in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad, and starred in the team-up film Justice League, and briefly appeared in the Arrowverse crossover event Crisis on Infinite Earths, which acknowledged the wider DC multiverse, in the first season of the series Peacemaker. Warner Bros. Offered James Wan the choice of directing a movie about either Aquaman or The Flash, and ultimately chose to make Aquaman. By April 2015, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller were writing a story treatment for the Flash film with the possibility of directing it. After they decided to direct a Star Wars story instead, Seth Grahame-Smith entered negotiations to write and direct the film based on Lord and Christopher Miller's treatment in October 2015. Grahame-Smith was set to make his directorial debut with the film, with Roven producing and director Zack Snyder executive producing. By February 2016, the film's release date was moved forward to March 16, 2018. Grahame-Smith left the project that April, citing creative differences. Warner Brothers chose to retain his script, and he was still expected to be involved in the project moving forward, while Lord and Christopher Miller were also still involved as producers. A search for a replacement director began immediately. Rick Famuyiwa, sorry if I mispronounced that, was hired to take over as director in June 2016, with Warner Brothers feeling that Famuyiwa's vision for the film will resonate with younger audiences and also be compatible with Grahame-Smith's existing script. Filming was expected to begin later in 2016 and was not believed to be delayed by the director change. Famuyiwa's top choice to portray the film's female lead, Iris West, was Kiersey Clemons, whom he had worked with on Dope. Radar and Lucy Boynton were also in the running for the role, but Clemons cast as the character at the end of July. At that time, Warner Brothers gave the film's release date to Tomb Raider, leaving The Flash without a release date. In August, Ray Fisher was said to appear in the film, reprising his role as Victor Stone / Cyborg from Batman v Superman and Justice League. Famuyiwa completed a revision of the script a month later, when Gal Gadot was set to reprise her role as Diana Prince / Wonder Woman from Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, and Justice League, and Billy Crudup was in negotiations to play Barry's father, Henry Allen. Clemons and Crudup both filmed cameo appearances for Justice League after being cast in The Flash. Pre-production began by October ahead of filming start in March 2017, scheduled before another commitment that Ezra Miller had in July. At the end of October, Famuyiwa left the project after not being able to come together creatively with the studio, which is great with a more mature direction that Famuyiwa wanted to take the film. The film was put on hold while the studio searched for a new director, and Ezra Miller prepared to film Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. During that time, Warner Bros. Decided to take the film a new direction, and in January 2017, Joby Harold was hired to do a page one rewrite of the script. He ended in a draft by May, the studio's top choices to direct were Robert Zemeckis and Matthew Vaughn. Both expressed interest in the project but had potential scheduling issues that could prevent them from taking it on. Raimi, Mark Webb, and Jordan Peele had already turned down offers to direct the film, as did Ben Affleck, who portrayed Bruce Wayne/Batman in previous DCEU films. At the July 2017 San Diego Comic-Con, the film was announced with the new title Flashpoint, based on the comic book of the same title, in which Alan travels back in time to save his mother's life and accidentally creates an alternate timeline. Dan Mazzone was contributed to the script during this time. Johns confirmed in November that the Flashpoint concept would allow the film to tell a unique story about Batman, with the comic book storyline exploring a timeline where Thomas Wayne is Batman. Jeffrey Dean Morgan expressed his interest in reprising his role as Thomas Wayne from Batman v Superman. In January 2018, the filmmaking duo John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein entered negotiations to write-direct the film after the studio chose not to wait for Zemeckis' schedule to be free. Daley and Goldstein were confirmed as directors in March, and the film's title reverted to The Flash the next month. Filming was expected to begin in Atlanta in February 2019, but Ezra Miller's commitments to Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore delayed filming again. The Flash was aiming for a 2021 release at that point. In mid-March 2019, Ezra Miller was revealed to be writing a new version of the film's script with comic book writer Grant Morrison. They disagreed with the lighthearted approach to the film that Daley and Goldstein were taking, though that was Warner Brothers' preferred direction for it. The script could be submitted to the studio by the end of the month, and the studio did not like Miller and Morrison's take. There was potential for the actor to leave the film. Miller's holding deal to star in the film was expected to end in May. Morrison later said that Miller had not been happy with the prior scripts and approached Morrison with their ideas, and the pair were given 2 weeks by Warner Brothers to write the script in Scotland. Morrison described the script as a Flash story, which he thought was a more science fiction story similar to Back to the Future, but said the studio wanted to explore the multiverse and other DC characters with the film instead. Morrison also denied reports that Miller wanted the film to have a dark tone, and said that their script had dark aspects related to the Flashpoint story. The studio rejected Miller and Morrison's script in May, but asked Miller to remain as star of the film. Daley and Goldstein left the project in July, and Warner Brothers chose Christina Hodson to write a new screenplay for the film after writing his DC film Birds of Prey. Andy Muschietti entered negotiations to direct the film, with his sister Barbara set to produce alongside Michael Disco. A January 2020 pre-production start was expected. The development of Andy Muschietti and Hodson was confirmed in November 2019 and was expected to begin in 2020. Filming was expected to begin in 2021 after Ezra Miller finished filming The Secrets of Dumbledore. A month later, Warner Bros. Scheduled The Flash for release on July 1st, 2022. And now onto the pre-production. Andy Muschietti said in January 2020 that the film would still adapt elements of the Flashpoint comic book storyline, but it would be telling a different version of that story. Muschietti later elaborated that he requested to adapt the storyline by Warner Brothers, recognized it as a great story due to employing time travel to include Barry Allen's origin story and Batman. The Muschietti personally feels that this film is more suspenseful than the comic due to making more emotional experience, whereas the comic's original structure is more like Jacob's Ladder. In April 2020, the film's release was moved forward to June 3rd, 2022, when Warner Bros. Shifted schedule because of the COVID-19 pandemic. That June, Michael Keaton entered early negotiations to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne/Batman for Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns. Fisher discussed his role as Cyborg in the film Muschietti that month before Warner Brothers set a 2-week shoot for Fisher to film what was referred to as a cameo appearance alongside other Justice League actors. Fisher said the studio only offered to pay him a fraction of his traditional salary for reprising the role. In August, Keaton was confirmed to be appearing in the film, and Affleck agreed to reprise his version of Batman. Muschietti explained that the film will be introducing the idea of the multiverse to general audiences by including multiple versions of characters and acknowledging past film franchises based on DC as alternate universes. It was important for Muschietti to include Affleck in the film since his version of Batman is the baseline for the DCEU, and he felt the introduction of Keaton's Batman would not work as well without first seeing the Flash's relationship with Affleck's Batman. Affleck chose to return after saying he had retired from the character because he would have a smaller role in the film. During the virtual DC Fandom event Explore the Multiverse in September 2020, Barbara Muschietti said the film would feature many characters from the DC Universe, and The Flash would serve as the bridge between them and their different timelines. She added that the film would be used to restart the continuity of the DCEU without disregarding the events of prior films. Crudup, who loved the film during the changes in directors, entered negotiations to rejoin the project a month later. Clement's involvement was uncertain at that point. The film's release date was pushed back to November 4th, 2022 by further pandemic-related delays. The film was set to begin in March 2021 in London. Warner Bros. Terminated Cyborg out of the film by January 2021 after Fisher refused to work on any project the DC Films president, Walter Hamada, was involved in. Fisher said that this was due to Hamada's handling of an investigation into the unsafe behavior of Justice League's replacement director Joss Whedon. The role of Cyborg was unexpected to be recast. Andy and Barbara Muschietti arrived in the United Kingdom to prepare for production, with filming set to begin in April at Warner Bros. Studios, Leavesden, after Ezra Miller finished on The Secrets of Dumbledore. In February, construction for sets at Leavesden Studios had begun, and Crudup was confirmed to be returning, and Sasha Calle was cast as Supergirl. Calle was chosen from a group of more than 425 actresses that also included Bruna Marquezine. Sorry if I mispronounced that. All auditions for the role, as well as coverage as Ezra Miller, took place over Zoom. In March 2021, Clements signed a new deal to star as Iris West in the film after All in Justice League was cut, though the cameo was restored in the 2021 director's cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Maribel Verdú was cast to portray Barry Allen's mother, Nora Allen, but Crudup was forced to drop out of the film because of scheduling conflicts with the series The Morning Show. The role of Henry Allen was expected to be recast. In the end of March, Keaton said he had received an older version of the script, but had read it and would have to read the latest draft before deciding if he could commit to the film. He also said the COVID-19 pandemic in the United Kingdom was a concern for his involvement, as well as balancing other commitments. Shortly after, Marlon Bastille was cast to replace Crudup as Henry Allen, with Ian Lowe cast as young Barry Allen and Saoirse Monica Jackson and Rudy Manusco joining in undisclosed roles. Before filming began, Keaton was confirmed to be starring in the film, with Andy Muschietti believing Keaton's decision to join The Flash was due to the script that he had been sent. Muschietti said Keaton felt honored to play Batman again. Muschietti formed a production company, Double Dream, to co-produce the film, and Marion Jenkins was revealed as an executive producer. First, she said it would be a bummer if the situation surrounding his involvement in the film were not resolved, and said he would not return to the role of Cyborg for the film if Warner Brothers were to make amends with him. And now on to the filming. Principal photography began on April 19, 2021 at Warner Bros. Studios Leavesden in England under the working title Baby Shower. Henry Graham served as cinematographer after previously working on DC's The Suicide Squad. In early May, filming took place at Burghley House in Stamford, Lincolnshire, which doubled for Wayne Manor. In mid-June, Ezra Miller, Clements, Keaton, and Calle filmed scenes at St. Paul's Cathedral in London, with surrounding locations designed to portray Central City. Filming was also set to occur later that month at Edinburgh and Glasgow, doubling for Gotham City, for scenes involving Affleck and Keaton. In late July, filming continued at Glasgow at Ingram Street, George Square, John Street, and Cochrane Street, which involved several vehicles, while filming with the Batmobile occurred in George Square. On July 29th, the filming was halted after a camera operator on a motorcycle shooting behind the Batcycle in Renfield collided with it near West George Street. The operator was injured but not seriously hurt. In August, Graham said the film was technically complex, despite not being based on reality, and called the concept of featuring the different generations of comic books in it fantastic. In early September, Luke Brandfield said he had joined the cast. Filming wrapped on October 18th, 2021. And now on to the post-production. In December 2021, Michael Shannon and Antje Trau were revealed to be reprising their roles for Man of Steel's General Zod and Farah Uai, respectively. Former co-directors of the film Francis Daly and Goldstein were also confirmed to be receiving story credit for the film alongside Hodgson. Tamara Morrison, who portrays Aquaman's father Tom Curry in Aquaman and Aquaman the Lost Kingdom, was reported to be in the film in February 2022. In March, Warner Bros. Suggested its release schedule due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the workload of visual effects vendors. The Flash is moved to June 23, 2023, to provide more time for VFX works to be completed. The Flash had around 2,500 visual effects shots. The following month, the final rated credits were revealed. Hudson received screenplay credit. Daily Goldstein Herald received screen story credit. Off-screen credit for additional writing material went to Rebecca Drysdale, Fomoia, Graham Smith, Johns Lord, Christopher Miller, Ezra Miller, Morrison, and co-writer Adam Sidskill. Sorry, I mispronounced that. In May, Deadline Hollywood reported that an unspecific high-profile comic book film that would be released in 2023 had a script recently submitted to the Writers Guild of America, having told 45 writers involved in it throughout its development. Some commenters believed that the film was The Flash due to its lengthy development process. Miller earlier participated in regularly scheduled additional photography in mid-2022. Following several controversial incidents and arrests involving Miller throughout 2022, the newly formed parent company Warner Bros. Pictures, Warner Bros. Discovery, considered various options for the film after previously delaying its release to help avoid controversy. In August, W was considering 3 options: providing Miller an interview explaining their behavior and doing a dual press for the film should they choose to accept professional help, being released as planned, exclude Miller from all press of the film, and recast their character in future projects should they choose to reject professional help, or cancel the film as a last resort if the situation further deteriorated. The latter was considered an unprecedented move due to its large budget, though it would have come after WBD already canceled the nearly complete 90 million film Batgirl that was being produced for the streaming service HBO Max. WBD was not considering recasting Miller's role in the film due to them portraying multiple characters and appearing in nearly every scene. It was also considered to be key for the studio's future DCEU plans and had been received well during test screenings despite Miller's legal troubles. WBD CEO David Zaslav reiterating that The Flash received positive responses from the studio and they were committed to releasing it in theaters. Miller released a public apology, though the representative soon afterward announced that they were seeking professional treatment for complex mental health issues. Soon after, Miller and their agent met with Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy, the co-chairpersons and co-CEOs of Warner Bros. Pictures Group, to apologize for their behavior, while VFX was expected to be completed by the end of the year. Michaelis later stated that the film was the first to use new technology to feature different versions of an actor on screen. Barbara Muschietti also rejected reports alleging the film would potentially be canceled due to Miller's actions. In December 2022, the film's release date was moved forward to June 16th following positive test screenings. While the Hollywood Reporter reported that Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa were set to make cameo appearances as Superman and Aquaman, respectively, and the Cavill had filmed his role in September. WBD was reportedly debating on retaining the cameos depending on their future plans, as they had not yet been finalized since The Flash did not receive a picture lock. Cavill's cameo, along with the one Gal Gadot filmed as Wonder Woman, was reported to have been cut after DC Studios chose not to move forward with sequels to Man of Steel and Wonder Woman 1984. Cavill was paid $250,000 for his cameo. In March 2023, Affleck revealed that he filmed a scene with Gadot, who appeared at an in-progress cut of the film screened at CinemaCon the following month. The following month, Muschietti revealed some of the planned cameos that did not make it into the film, including Lynda Carter's Wonder Woman from the television series Wonder Woman, Marlon Brando's Jor-El from Superman, Burgess Meredith's Penguin as Cesar Romero's Joker from the series Batman, and Grant Gustin's Barry Allen of the Arrowverse continuity. The finished film contains a cameo of Adam West's Batman from the Batman show. The cameo was nearly cut, but Muschietti wanted to include it due to the personal attachment he and his sister felt to the show. Jay Garrick, another cameo in the film, was based on Jason Ballantine, one of the film's editors. Paul Matchliss and Ballantine served as the film's editors, Valentine having previously worked on Andy Muschietti's films It and It Chapter 2. Muschietti's initial cut of the film was around 4 hours long. The visual effects were provided by DNEG, Scanline VFX, and Wet FX, with John DJ Desjardins serving as a visual effects supervisor after previously doing so for several DCEU films. Now finally, let's take a look at some revisions to the ending. The ending for the film, which features George Clooney reprising his role as an alternate Bruce Wayne due to Barry's actions, changed multiple times during post-production due to the constant change of leadership at Warner Brothers in 2022. The original ending shot for the film, conceived by the then heads of DC Films Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada, featured Keaton's Batman as well as Kai's Supergirl continue existing in the new timeline, but erase Cavill and Affleck's roles as Superman and Batman respectively from the DCEU continuity. It was intended to set up a sequel and culminate in a film based around the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, despite the CW already having done its adaptation in 2019, which included the DCEU in its continuity. It was also set up the then in development Batgirl prior to its cancellation, as Keaton was set to reprise his role in that film. Following the merger of Warner Media and Discovery Inc. in 2022 and the removal of Emmerich and Hamada, executives Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy took over. They decided to keep Cavill within the DCEU and reshot the ending. Cavill filmed scenes alongside his cameo for Black Adam in September. Godot also filmed a scene for this ending. The scene was meant to have generated interest for the planned Man of Steel sequel and third Wonder Woman film before both were cancelled. In November, James Gunn and Peter Safran became the new leaders of DC Studios, who planned to conceive the new DC universe as a soft reboot of the DCEU. As a result, Cavill no longer reprised his role and his scene was cut. While the ending was again reworked without Cavill, Keaton, and Godot's characters, and the film ending with George Clooney was shot in January 2023, which was kept secret until the film's release. Interesting. So overall, yeah, I know this film has some problems and stuff like that, and I know some people didn't really like the tone of this film and stuff, but overall, I think this film was just okay and stuff, so yeah. So overall, I give The Flash 3 best signals out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in tomorrow as we take a look at the final film of DCEU 2023, Blue Beetle. So until then, in the words of my favorite character, I'm here to fight for truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.